texted me yesterday if is it possible to talk about the Crawford fight for February or meet to yesterday here in Los Angeles with him.
Canelo versus Crawford is that one fight fans have always been eager to see, but boxing politics have played a role in delaying it. The thing is, while Canelo is getting ready to fight Crawford, he also has another fight planned after that, and it now looks like he might not even get that one, so here is a quick update.
Yo, Turk, tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes! Let's go! Canelo, come on!
Terence Crawford is 36 years old, and right now he is focused on taking on the biggest names. He is no longer interested in small fights. He wants matchups that truly matter, the kind people will remember for years. That is why he has his eyes set on Canelo Alvarez. For Crawford, this is the type of fight that could change everything, and he understands it well. Crawford has already made history by becoming the first male fighter in the four-belt era to stay unbeaten while winning titles in two weight divisions, something no one else has achieved. One of his recent fights was a total domination of Errol Spence Jr., another champion, where Crawford took control from the opening round and stopped him in the ninth. It was one of those moments where everyone watching could clearly see this fighter is something special.
Fight, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you're still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think business talks.
Now Crawford wants to take on Canelo, who is also an undisputed champion, but there is one major issue. Canelo fights 3 weight classes above where Crawford last competed, which is a massive jump. Most fighters would not even consider it, but Crawford is not like most. He truly believes he can make it happen. For a long time Canelo was not interested in this fight. He pushed the idea aside, saying there was little to gain if he won. People would claim Crawford was too small, and if he lost it would seriously damage his reputation, so he questioned the value of it, but now it seems things are starting to change.
A man coming from 147, I know he's a great man. Crawford is a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody...
At a recent No Golf No Life event, Canelo spoke about Crawford in a different tone. He called him a great fighter and said he is open to the fight if the money is right. He explained that at this stage of his career he is willing to face anyone, but it has to make sense for him and the money must be right. This is where Saudi Arabia steps in. Turkey Al-Sheikh is making big moves in boxing. He has already spent huge money to bring major fights to Saudi Arabia, and he is ready to do it again. His main goal is a fight between Canelo and Crawford, and the kind of money he offers could turn this into reality.
Canelo, I think that's weird, because you'd have to gain 20 pounds?
Yeah.
But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, catch weight. We can do something at a catch weight.
What weight you think?
Probably 160 or something.
But you said 154 is the highest you want to go.
Yeah, 150.
So why is Canelo suddenly interested? It comes down to Crawford making big moves. After beating Errol Spence, he moved up to super welterweight and took on Israel Madrimov, winning that fight and becoming the WBA world champion. In the process, he proved he can deal with stronger opponents and also showed a different approach. He moved less, stayed in front more, and was more aggressive and willing to trade punches, and that grabbed Canelo's attention. In an interview with Sway's Universe, Canelo said he noticed this change. He made it clear that if the money is right, he is ready. He called Crawford a great fighter, but also said in his own weight class it would be an easy fight and easy money, adding that Crawford not moving as much in his last fight is what made him interested.
Like Al-Sheikh say that he's central now for possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight. And
that fight just involves too much weight, and that comment sparked a lot of discussion. Is Canelo underestimating Crawford, or is he right to feel confident? Canelo has fought all kinds of opponents, bigger, smaller, older, and younger, so he knows how to adjust, but Crawford is different. He is not just skilled, he knows how to adapt. In the fight against Spence, he was almost impossible to hit, and against Madrimov, he showed power and aggression. Crawford can do everything, and that is what makes him dangerous.
Think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo.
I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight.
Crawford is not backing down either. To fight Canelo, he would need to move up another 14 pounds to 168, which is a big jump, especially for someone who started as a lightweight, but he looks ready for the challenge and is not worried about the size difference. For him, it is about proving that skill can overcome size. Canelo, on the other hand, still has his doubts. Last year, he said that beating Crawford might not be worth it. People will criticize him no matter what. If he wins, they will say Crawford was too small, and if he loses, it will be even worse, making it feel like a no-win situation.
Crawford could beat him because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for.
But now Canelo's stance has clearly changed, and the reason is obvious: the money Saudi Arabia is offering huge paydays, and that level of money can change anyone's mind. And beyond the money, a fight with Crawford is also about legacy. Beating Crawford would add another major name to Canelo's record, while losing would be a big surprise, but it would also show he is willing to take risks. Fans are divided. Some feel Canelo's size and power would be too much, while others think Crawford's speed, skill and ring IQ could be enough to win, and that kind of debate is what makes a fight like this so exciting for everyone.
Crawford and Canelo, were to come to fruition, you see that being competitive still, even with the 21-pound difference, Jim?
If I'm Crawford, I don't want to have to go up to 168 pounds to get the fight. I want to somehow gull Canelo into thinking that it's okay to fight him at, best of all possible.
No one can say for sure what would happen, but there is another side to this story. Some believe Canelo has been avoiding Crawford for years. He dismissed the idea of fighting Crawford for a long time, and the question is, was it really because of the size difference, or because he saw something in Crawford that concerned him? Now some fans think Canelo's new interest in the fight is less about the money and more about proving the doubters wrong. Canelo seems confident he is chasing greatness and doesn't care who is in his way for him. This isn't about the money, it's about proving he's the best no matter the challenge. That mindset is what makes Crawford so special. Right now nothing is certain. Canelo is still weighing his options. He could face David Benavidez, the IBF super middleweight champion, which would also be a big fight, but the buzz around Crawford versus Canelo is hard to ignore, especially with Turki Alalshik ready to make it happen. It's starting to feel real.
Power. Or by no power? Yeah. We're not a roll with punches. We're not to take power. You take your power away from. How you take a power puncher? Take the power away from a puncher. Let us know. What? No, I ain't gonna tell you. You should know.
Slide off, take something off the shot here and there.
David Benavidez, the unbeaten super middleweight powerhouse, knows the 168-pound division well, and his thoughts on a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez carry weight because of his deep understanding of the challenges fighters face at this level. In a conversation with Sway's Universe, Benavidez made it clear that while he respects Crawford's skills, he believes the odds would be heavily against him in a matchup with Canelo.
Wonder how effective Crawford can be if he's moving up in weight. You're starting to see that, now he's not quite as strong. The knockout streak is over. But he can box really, really well. But
Benavidez's perspective comes from watching Crawford's recent fights, and the big size difference between him and Canelo. Crawford dominated the welterweight division for years and recently moved up to super welterweight, where he beat Israel Madrimov to win the WBA title. While Crawford's skill and adaptability were clear, Benavidez noticed something important in that fight. Crawford's power didn't carry over as strongly at 154 pounds as it did at 147. He wasn't struggling, but he didn't have the same impact. Benavidez pointed out that this matters because power can be a game changer, especially against someone like Canelo, who has a granite chin and excels in trading punches.
Is Crawford the biggest fight in the game?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like when you're looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing beyond.
Benavidez also highlighted how tough the challenge would be for Crawford moving up to 168 pounds. It's not just gaining weight, but carrying it effectively against bigger, stronger fighters who are used to that division. Canelo has been competing at super middleweight for years, facing some of the toughest opponents in the division. Benavidez believes that even with Crawford's technical skill, he would be at a disadvantage in both size and experience if he faced Canelo in his first fight at 168. There would be many hurdles stacked against him.
For going up, I believe he can put a beating on anybody 154, 160.
But not 68.
Nah, Benavidez is.
Canelo. Yeah.
Oh, Canelo. I think he's a smart fighter. He doesn't rely on his power. Crawford ain't.
Canelo's record at super middleweight supports Benavidez's point. He has not only unified the division, but consistently shown he can adapt to different styles, whether facing aggressive punchers or slick boxers. His recent win over Andre Berto Jr. demonstrated his ability to control the pace and neutralize his opponent's strengths. For Crawford, that would mean facing a fighter who is naturally bigger and highly experienced in handling every type of opponent. Benavidez also pointed out the psychological side. Canelo's confidence in his size and power at 168 pounds could give him an advantage, while Crawford would need to adjust both mentally and physically to compete at a weight class he has never fought in before.
Throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight, you know what I mean? I think even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight Canelo, to be honest with you, but it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great fight. It'd be a great fight, but I feel like if I deserve my opportunity.
The mental side of boxing is often just as important as the physical, and Canelo's comfort in his weight class could be a major advantage. Benavidez's analysis comes from his own experience fighting in the same division. He has faced super middleweights who combine power and durability. This first-hand knowledge gives him a clear understanding of the challenges Crawford would face. Benavidez has emphasized that fighters at 168 pounds aren't just bigger, they are used to taking and delivering punches with a force that can be overwhelming for someone moving up from lighter divisions.
The size is an issue. Canelo is way bigger. This fight's at 54. He's got 2 weight classes to broach in order to get to 168 to fight Canelo. But as you said, champ, Canelo has become increasingly inactive in fights. He throws less and less.
Looking at a potential Crawford versus Canelo clash, while Crawford is known for adjusting and outthinking opponents, Benavidez believes Canelo's experience and ring IQ could neutralize many of Crawford's strengths. Canelo has faced top technicians before, and his skill in cutting off the ring and imposing his will has been a key part of his success. Canelo's ability to apply pressure and take advantage of his size could make it hard for Crawford to stick to his game plan. Another important point Benavidez made is the effect of moving up in weight. Going to 168 pounds would not only require Crawford to add muscle, but also to keep his speed and stamina.
Really say nothing about that. If that's what he wants to do, then that's what he's going to do. Canelo is a man that he does anything he wants to do. I don't think really what people say affects him. But I feel like the people, they want to see David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. It's the biggest fight to make happen, and I feel like I'm the biggest.
Benavidez pointed out that moving up in weight is not as simple as it looks. Fighters who bulk up often lose some of the traits that made them successful in lower divisions against someone like Canelo, who can exploit even the smallest weakness. Any drop in speed or endurance could be costly. What makes Benavidez's analysis interesting is his clear respect for Crawford's skills. He acknowledged that Crawford is one of the most technically gifted fighters he has ever seen. This isn't a critique of Crawford's ability, but an honest look at the challenges he would face in this matchup. Crawford is one of the best technical fighters I've ever seen, Benavidez said, emphasizing that his prediction isn't about doubting Crawford but understanding the realities of the situation. It also shows his deep insight into Canelo's abilities.
Really like to bash somebody because at the end of the day, I give respect to Canelo. He's a great fighter. Yeah. He's one of the best Mexican fighters of all time.
But wanting to fight him, David, is not bashing him.
Yeah.
That's not bashing him.
But that's what I'm saying. They spin the narrative on Instagram. Right. If I say something, they say this or that. But I only want what I earned.
Right.
And I'm entitled to it from the door.
Canelo is not just a physically strong fighter, he's also a master strategist who knows how to exploit his opponent's weaknesses. Against Crawford, Canelo would likely use his size and power to gradually wear him down. Benavidez believes Canelo's ability to adjust and dominate at 168 pounds would eventually be too much for Crawford to overcome. Beyond the technical side, Benavidez's comments also reflect boxing history. Fighters who move up multiple weight classes often face naturally bigger opponents, and jumping from 154 to 168 pounds is significant. Crawford's willingness to take on that challenge shows his ambition, but Benavidez's perspective highlights the real obstacles he would face.
My brother, Terence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring. I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that favor Canelo is that, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's...
In the discussion about a potential Crawford versus Canelo showdown, Benavidez's respect for both fighters and his detailed analysis make his opinion one of the most insightful in boxing. While fans continue to debate who would win, his perspective highlights just how complex this matchup would be. Canelo Alvarez, the face of modern boxing, has never avoided big fights, and his recent comments have only fueled speculation about his next steps. Just 2 days ago, Canelo mentioned the one opponent he still dreams of facing in the ring again, Floyd Mayweather.
These same writers out here, they praise Canelo. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Motherfucker easy, man. Cakewalk, easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old.
But as much as he would love to avenge his only professional loss, even the Mexican superstar admits that fight is mostly a fantasy. Obviously, we know it's not going to happen, he said. But yes, I would love to erase that little scar. That 2013 loss to Mayweather still hangs over Canelo's career, not as a blemish, but as a reminder of how far he has come. Back then, at just 23 years old in Las Vegas, Canelo was outmatched by Mayweather's ring IQ. The unanimous decision in Mayweather's favor was more a masterclass than a real contest, and for a perfectionist like Canelo, that kind of defeat is hard to forget.
No, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down.
You know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many.
Now, more than a decade later, Canelo is a completely different fighter, stronger, smarter, and arguably the most well-rounded boxer in the sport today. A rematch with Mayweather would be a chance to rewrite history, to show that the young man who stepped into the ring in 2013 is nothing like the champion he has become. Fans would love to see if Canelo could achieve what so many others failed to do. Mayweather, on the other hand, seems content in retirement. Since retiring in 2017 with a perfect 50-0 record, he has only taken part in exhibitions, nothing close to a serious return to competitive boxing.
Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him, because, you know, if you beat him, you want to be the best in the world at 23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience, he's so
Despite Mayweather's recent comments comparing his fight with Canelo to his bout with Pacquiao, there's little sign he's willing to risk his undefeated record again. What makes Canelo's dream even more compelling is how it ties into his other ambitions. While a rematch with Mayweather may be out of reach, a fight with Terence Crawford is very real. Crawford, a pound-for-pound great, has been circling Canelo for the past year. If it happens, it would match two of the best fighters of this generation, though the circumstances clearly favor the Mexican champion. Crawford moving up to super middleweight to face Canelo would be a huge challenge, one that even the confident Canelo would need to respect. Interestingly, this fight could also be a stepping stone toward an even bolder goal, drawing Mayweather out of retirement.
To Canelo is this: you proved yourself already. You proved yourself. You fought a lot of great fighters.
What I'd say to Canelo is this: you've already proven yourself. You've fought so many great fighters. While the chances of Floyd coming back seem slim, a dominant win over Crawford could be the kind of statement that sparks his interest. Mayweather has always been drawn to the spotlight, and the story of unfinished business with Canelo could be too tempting to pass up. Canelo knows how to build the hype. By taking on Crawford first, he sets the stage for a dramatic lead-up to a potential Mayweather rematch. It's a brilliant strategy: beat one of the best fighters alive, then challenge the man who defeated you in your prime. Even if Mayweather stays retired, just the idea of that fight would electrify the boxing world.